more worried about the United States and how the country may be going into a recession. Now, Senate Republican John Barrasso said the new spending deal between Chuck Schumer and Manchin announced last week is far from done, very far from done, suggesting possible opposition from moderate Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Barrasso told Fox that Senator Sinema felt blindsided by the Inflation Reduction Act, which was announced last week and shocked Capitol Hill. Barrasso said of Sinema in terms of will this pass, they need all 50 Democrats on board and in the room. They haven't had the 50 senators show up for work in well over a month, so this is far from done. Folks, we have a lot of things going on in Congress, a lot of development to talk about. Senator Sinema has so far remained publicly silent on the deal, which Manchin and Schumer announced just 2 weeks after Manchin said he would not support any climate package or tax reform given soaring inflation. The proposed $670 billion legislation, a scaled-down version of the Build Back Better, includes $370 billion for clean energy programs, another $300 billion to reduce the U.S. deficit, and $64 billion for healthcare expansion. And instead of federal level relief funds, it'll come from the state's general funds. According to state officials, individuals with a household income of $80,000 or less can apply for a one-time state tax exempt payment of up to $2,000 per household. With rising inflation and gas prices, the fourth round of federal level stimulus has been a big topic of discussion in the last few months. It was just last month when the Biden administration announced that it was considering two options as the official stimulus plan in response to rising gas prices. In May, Delaware began sending relief rebate payments of $300 to taxpayers who filed a return in 2020 due to a budget surplus. Most Delaware residents received these payments in May, and couples filing jointly can get $300 each. The state government is continuing to send these payments throughout the summer, and last month, Ron DeSantis of Florida announced that 59,000 low-income families in the state will qualify for a one-time check of $450 per child. The stimulus is being distributed through the Florida Department of Children and Families to residents. Governor Kemp of Georgia signed legislation to give out rebate payments of $250 for single filers, $375 for head of households, and $500 for those filing jointly. The stimulus package came under the budget surplus in the state, and the Georgia Department of Revenue has been giving out these rebates since May. But the agency has been also anticipating delays due to the amount of refunds. Folks, the IRS has just released a very important announcement in regards to future relief payments. Democrats and Republicans in Congress are now addressing Social Security with new legislation this month. Many economists and lawmakers are now pushing for a $1,400 one-time stimulus check for seniors to be passed as soon as possible. Americans are pessimistic about the future of Social Security, and the crisis has made it even worse. A recent survey found that 59% of people now worry more about Social Security running out of funding than they did before the onset of the crisis. And that has changed their outlook on one of the biggest decisions that they will make in their lives, when they claim Social Security retirement benefits. Almost 1 in 5 survey respondents said the crisis has changed their plans to file for Social Security benefits, with 9% planning to file earlier and 11% delaying filing. Yet the recent Social Security Trustees annual report that was the first to consider the effects of the crisis struck a slightly more optimistic tone. The report projected a new depletion date of 2035 for the program's funds, 1 year later than had been projected in 2021. Assuming more taxes.
File a tax return. The IRS does.
Folks, there is an updated list of states that are about to send out a fourth check this month, and the lawmakers in many places like Illinois, Pennsylvania, and even New Jersey have released programs that are providing millions of dollars to thousands of low-income residents. So the several arrival dates for these payments have been confirmed and just announced. I'll be revealing these details in this video. Stimulus payments are back. Although the crisis has become more bearable, Americans are still dealing with a tough financial crisis to deal with. CNBC reports about 62% of workers across the country live paycheck to paycheck. It has led to many state governors to agree to send out bonus checks to the residents. It includes people in places like New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Rhode Island. For instance, New Jersey is offering another program to give communities stimulus money and to help the people out. Now, if this applies to you, you must file an application with the state's Division of Taxation by December 30th. Payments will go out in the spring, and families can expect to receive a child rebate in the state of Rhode Island. The program provides a rebate of $250 per child for up to 3 children, or $750 per family. To be eligible, you must be a resident for all of 2021, and children must be 18 years or older to qualify for this check. Now, if you're $100,000 as an individual, you'll get the payment as well. Now, people say in the state that the checks were mailed out early in October last month, and for those that filed a 2021 tax return, you should have gotten yours by the middle of this month. So, in addition to this low-income stimulus money, Pennsylvania low-income homeowners and renters are getting some bigger financial relief. Most checks will be capped at $650, though some homeowners will see a boost of $970 based on age, widow, or even widower status and disabilities. There's also news for the Delaware residents. State officials have said you must be able to send in an application through the end of this year in order to get the $900. The office report stated that there are 5 main issues right now with Social Security. And the first is that Social Security has a spending problem. Social Security will only be able to pay out 2% tax, and the program promised to take never more than 6% of a worker's paycheck. Today it takes 12%, and even that falls short of the program's ever-rising cost. The Congressional Budget Office projects that Social Security's costs will increase by 42% of the next 75 years, as its revenues remain stable. Protecting Social Security requires at least $400. It's going to go to qualified households, and during the season, the state allocated $10 million for economic aid to help the low-income residents, and no maximum income has even been specified for eligible households. And these payments are earmarked for families with the lowest incomes first, and Human Services Department cautions that there will be a limited number of applicants. One state official even told Yahoo News that this is a one-time relief stimulus payment. It follows the 3 other rounds of stimulus checks and other tax rebates issued by the New Mexico government between May and August. But this new stimulus check will be allocated to the low-income families only. The new inflation relief check that was signed into the law was pushed by the governor. It was for $200, and it's going to be returned to every resident in the state. The state auditor says that your checks are already going out to eligible recipients. And for those who haven't received the first $130 of refund yet, well, it will be combined with a $200 check if you're married and filing jointly. And now $650 is also headed your way. According to experts, if you receive a tax refund and you're signed up for direct deposit, then the Department of Revenue will deposit the money in your account, just like it did with the $125 stimulus check early this year. The Labor Department reported this week that slightly more Americans applied for unemployment benefits compared to a year ago, even as the uneven U.S. economy just shakes around. Applications for jobless claims has also remained very low, even as the Fed has cranked up its benchmark, everybody, and the borrowing rate in an effort to cool down the economy, which has been suffering from inflation and other logistical issues. Now, folks, not only that, but listen to this. Fed officials have warned that the unemployment rate will likely just remain and rise as part of the fight against rising prices and stimulus payments. The most recent government jobs report likely snuffed out any hope that the Fed would even pause rate increases when it meets next week. American